All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Bitcoin and Altcoin Trading Talk. Let's see here. All right, my tweet just went out. If you're new to the show, my name is William Kale from Coinigy.com. We run a trading and charting service. Definitely check it out, Coinigy.com. We connect to 50 exchanges. Along with me from Coinigy is Rob Borden. How are you doing this evening? Except
Doing
for
great.
audio issues, but
Oh
looks like
no,
everything's cool now.
there's no such thing.
No such thing. We make our own luck, Rob.
I know.
And then, per usual, we have Brian Beamish, the rational investor.
Good
How you
evening,
doing?
everybody. I got to get my baseball cap. I didn't realize we're all baseball capping it tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't you get
it's
the memo?
Baseball Cap Wednesday, man.
That's funny. Oh, wait a minute. I'll get it right back.
Okay, all right. Brian's got to run to the bathroom. Unexpected. And then the other laugh on the line with a cap. The man with a cap and a plan is Alex Sterk from Blocktalk. How's it going?
Oh, fantastic. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah, happy to be here and share my opinions of the markets from the last 2 weeks. It's been
Yeah,
pretty
been
crazy,
actually
lots of cool
excited for
launches.
I'm excited for the show tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. Hey, I wanted to get some things out of the way before we get started. Those of you who are watching on World Crypto Network's YouTube channel, this show actually is streamed live on the Coinigy YouTube channel and then uploaded to World Crypto Network. I had somebody asking, when is the show scheduled, and they weren't aware that we were publishing it at youtube.com/Coinigy, basically live, and then whenever we get around to it, we upload it to World Crypto Network, usually the next day. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is we're testing this out. I have no idea how this is going to work or if anybody's going to use it, but we created a live chat during the show, and that's in the description under the YouTube channel or under the YouTube video. So it looks like Alex and I and someone named Donald Pump are in there right now. So feel free to jump in. I guess if you can't, for whatever reason, can't see the description, it's chatstep.com. And then the channel name is BATT in all caps. So chatstep.com, and then the channel name is BATT in all caps for Bitcoin Altcoin Trading Talk. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe and retweet and all that fun stuff too, because that helps us out, get some more exposure and such. So yeah, got a great show for you. What's new, guys?
Um,
Now,
I can't say really anything exciting has happened with Bitcoin in the last 2 weeks. No, not at all.
Yeah, Bitcoin's just kind of been a nice flat line, nothing too crazy going on there. So we can skip over Bitcoin, but no, it's been pretty crazy. Rob and I we have our heads buried in code most of the time, but we've been watching the price like a hawk. There's been all these mainstream media articles talking about speculation as to why it's happening, and I'm hearing everything from China. China is now has a fear of yuan being depreciated, so they're getting into Bitcoin, and then the halving, obviously. And there was one other big reason that evades me right now, but it's kind of interesting to see the buzz happening again, especially kind of in the mainstream.
Yeah, I actually got 3 reasons that I could probably show you guys here. Brian, you'll probably appreciate the one. It was the Australian government is auctioning off some confiscated Bitcoin. So this is very much similar to the Silk Road auctions that we had. Leading into that, we kind of had a pump.
November, yeah, we saw the same thing with the U.S. government.
So this one is set to auction off. Geez, where's the price? Oh, June 1st to the 7th. So yeah, we're right at that kind of point. The other thing I noticed was the difficulty. If you look at it on the short term, 504 blocks. Look at this little spike we got going on right here. I think Bitfury's got their new miners ready, and they're just testing them out, plugging them in, and turning them off right away. But we should see some hash rate action going on.
Yeah,
And,
once they
I
start.
think that happened like a week or two ago, didn't it?
yeah, this happened just actually before we started the rise. What was the other thing?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that because I remember a lot of us we saw that. We saw it just go absolutely insane. But what I saw, for whatever it's worth, is Bitcoin really started to take off. Like literally the moment this DAO thing was listed. And I know there's some people that are out there saying, "Oh, Brian, I don't know whether you can really draw the parallels," but I've got a chart here. I was frankly shocked at the correlation here.
The other thing was Factum too. I find out as soon as I saw that kind of drop, I thought, oh man, we're going to be rocketing up because we saw the opposite happen earlier. But I'm pretty sure that rise happened like right here.
Yeah, before. And you're talking about that hash rate thing, right?
Yeah.
The difficulty. And yeah, so your take on that big spike was that somebody just brought a whole bunch of new mining equipment online and then took it off?
Yeah, like Bitfury they're making some new mining chips that are going to be released to the public soon. They're like literally a shipping container with cooling units on top. Like they're massive.
Oh man.
They're, I think, 8 times more efficient than what's currently being used. So yeah, you're going to see some serious hash rate jump going on here.
They're probably scrambling to get those out before the halving, right? I mean, their customers at least are going to want that prior to the halving.
Yeah, and I think
Like
there's been actually a bit of a delay.
Deadline.
There was a lot of delays on like stuff like the block size because block size actually affects hardware, like ASIC hardware, rather substantially. Like you have bigger blocks, you need to put more memory in your ASIC. Yeah. That was one of the concerns I think that a lot of miners said, oh, we don't want bigger blocks. I mean, our equipment's going to be no longer good. We won't vote for that.
Yeah, and especially with ASICs where everything's basically embedded, it's not like you can just stick a RAM chip in there necessarily.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so that in the auction, and yeah, seeing major alts like Ethereum and Factum pulling back, this rise was pretty plain to see.
Okay, so take that chart right there, overlay your DAO, hit the compare button, right, which is, I think, the little scales. Yeah, and overlay that DAO on top of that.
All right, let's do DAO USD, I guess.
Yeah, look how many DAO.
DAO Bitcoin. That's the whole point of this, dude. DAO Bitcoin.
Okay, sorry. We'll do Kraken then. But I think the coolest pair we're going to see this year is DAO ETH, the comparison between DAO
so
and ETH.
Look at the correlation here. You can literally see, and I've got it on my chart here. I can show this. And frankly, I mean, if someone was going to ask me, Brian, what do you see actually is driving price? This is literally the moment this DAO. Can you guys see my screen here? I don't know whether you can or not.
Hang on a second. I have to unsure Alex.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No,
I just think this is so compelling that literally the moment this DAO opened up, that's when this Bitcoin started to come to life. I was shocked at this. And literally, you can literally see the DAO bottom and Bitcoin topped. And then DAO calmed down a bit. And then you can literally see the selling started up in earnest again, and the Bitcoin took off.
That is pretty crazy. I mean, do you think that's people just selling Bitcoin in order to get into the DAO?
No, the other way around. I mean, how much money, and Alex, you should probably know this number exactly, how much money went into this silly DAO?
Let's see, it was over, it was like 150 million, I think.
Okay, so let's say, I mean, obviously there's a certain amount of money that's going into this that's for real, right? I want to own DAO, blah, blah, blah. But is it not a fact that if you participated in the financing early, you got a whole bunch of basically free money?
Yeah. It's people dumping the DAO and moving it into Bitcoin ultimately.
Well, exactly. So the point here is, I'm not saying that everybody got out of DAO, but let's be realistic. Let's say maybe like 20% of that $150 million was just hot money wanting to take advantage of this free money. This was free money. And so instantly, what are we talking? 20% of 100 million? We're talking $30 million. And it's my basic belief. I'm not saying that it's the whole DAO, and I'm sure there's lots of people who believe in this, but I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts that there was tens of millions of dollars just that went into this DAO that was, and here's the key to this, and what I noticed, sorry, I'm pretty excited about this, what I noticed about this was you had to buy Ethereum to get into the DAO, right? Is that correct?
No, you could just purchase it directly, I think, right, Alex, on Bittrex and some other places.
You had to have Ethereum. That's
and
how
the financing?
You're basically contributing Ethereum to the DAO fund. So,
right.
Yeah,
so you had to buy Ethereum to get into this DAO, right?
Yep.
And so what I noticed was that, and if we pull up the Ethereum chart, I noticed that quite literally the moment that this DAO came active, basically Ethereum just went into a vacuum. The demand for Ethereum just collapsed. And what I think happened here, this is my honest 2 cents, is that people said, if I could just get out of DAO, or however you're supposed to pronounce this, and just literally cash, bank those free coins, I think a lot of people took advantage of that. And it would explain why Bitcoin's price rose so much, because this was just straight. Can you understand that the physical demand for Bitcoins just went through the roof as people were just liquidating these DAO free tokens? Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it explains the price rise.
I mean, I'm shocked at how closely correlated this.
Yeah, that's nuts. I didn't realize it was that spot on. I mean, wow.
This is my 2 cents. I apologize for cutting you off there, Alex. I didn't mean to. It certainly wasn't intentional. I just
no, that's good. Yeah, I think it's important to see, like, well, it goes with a lot of alts. Is like some of them maintain dollar value really tightly. So I think you have an interesting point there where like it's correlating and tracking really hard. So here you can see like DAO is maintaining a level fairly consistent between 13 and like 11 cents. But yeah, the favorite pair I like to look at right now still is DAO ETH, because really they should be 1-to-1 or higher, or 1-to-100 or higher, because some people did pay more than 0.01 for their DAO using that contract, like you were talking about before. Like there was essentially that run up in price, but now you can see we're shaking out. We're like down 5%, 10% in some spots. So this is definitely shaking out, I think, a lot of Ethereum holders that put their Ethereum in and then realized, oh man, like it's worth less. It shouldn't be worth less. So at the end of the first 2 weeks of the DAO, you're going to see proposals being passed, and like people will be able to actually kind of remove their Ethereum from the DAO. So the market cap is going to change substantially, whether that's them, putting Ethereum towards Locket, or if it's people running away with their Ether, like they're kind of leaving the company with their Ether. You're going to see like a very sharp decline in the value of the DAO, and hopefully, I don't know, the powers that be in Ethereum, I think, are going to try and absorb a lot of that, because they want this thing to look really good. So yeah, as you can see, we got some hard support here.
Is that big red candle there? Was that the very first moment that this thing started trading?
Yeah, somebody vandalized this chart. Like, look at this. Like,
per usual.
Yeah.
Well, so the point that I would make is, gee whiz, this sure looks like some other new listing that we saw just a while ago, eh? And how ironic, right? It'd be interesting to plot the Ethereum chart when it first listed and compare this to what this looks like of DAO versus Ethereum. Do you see the similarities?
Yeah.
It's almost a little. It's almost cliche the way this goes, eh?
Oh, Brian, what do you think of the launch of one other ICO that happened?
I put
on
up,
Lisk.
well, the Lisk actually, we've got some guys in the site that just made out like bandits on the Lisk. But did you see the tweet that I put out to you today about waves? Have we got another rise only market here?
Yeah, don't even bother with it. Okay, so if you take the price as it is, the market cap is bigger than Ethereum. It's like
Who was it?
$1
Not so fast? Was it not so fast for Crypto Gambler or whatever? One of those guys. They put that tweet out. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, somebody also said that basically Yobit, which is where it's trading, they said they're basically just selling their own personal shares.
I don't know. All I know is that, and frankly, I mean, there's the chart, so obviously, here we go again. This is exactly like what they did with the Lisk. I mean, I'm not touching this. I don't have an account on Yobit. But one thing I will notice, and Alex, you've been at this for a few years now, so you probably saw this last year when we went through, you remember, what was did Ethereum come out just about this time last year? I think it was last year.
It's a little later. It's like September or October, I think.
Do you remember? Do you remember Archcoin and all the insanity around that nonsense?
Maybe.
But anyway, I mean, I guess what I'm asking you is, do you notice that seasonally, just about this time of year, this is when crypto goes crazy like this?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you haven't.
The seasonality is like amplified to a maximum. Like we saw it at Christmas time, like everything bottomed like simultaneously. Like if you a dollar across the market, you would have had $100 by the time everything.
Yeah, I mean, what was interesting is in November, December, you couldn't give Ethereum. Well, I mean, Ethereum was pretty depressed. I mean, I'm not necessarily touting Ethereum, but what I'm just simply saying is, and the viewers should really respect this, right? You can almost what's the word I'm looking for? Euphoria, the enthusiasm, all that. It's almost palatable now in this market, and that's got to be a bit of a warning sign to us, right? Mm-hmm. That maybe the crypto kids are getting a little too excited here.
Right.
So, and what I've also noticed too is that the whether it be Lisk or and I'm really saddened by your Factum, right? Because I love to hear a good fundamental story, and man, you were so rah that Factum.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The other thing is just you can't buy a friend here, right? I'm noticing a lot of money is coming out of stories that I think would normally pump here, but it's all getting sucked into things like this DAO and the Lisk and now Waves. I don't know what the hell this Waves is going to do.
Yeah, what's the story behind Waves, anyways? Is there a story?
It's I don't know. I watched an interview with the founder the other day. It's basically a fork of NXT, and
Gotcha.
They're creating partnerships with banking partners the same way Ripple did to, I guess, have on-chain like fiat. But like the interview I saw, like I don't know, there's so many holes in it. They have like 25,000 bitcoins in their ICO now. Like it's ludicrous how much it is. But the guy's like, yeah, we have a fair bit. I think we'll spend a lot on marketing and oh no, wait, not marketing. Development, yes, and then maybe a buy wall at ICO price to give investor confidence. And I hear that, I'm just like, man, this sounds like Paycoin all over again.
Yeah, what was Paycoin, a $20 floor, something like that?
Yeah, and like everything was spent on marketing. Like they sponsored Bitcoin Miami, and like it was. But we're in a different like trend now. Like, these guys can't make out like they can. Like thievery doesn't happen. I think the same one. The SEC is watching this whole space like a hawk now. Mm-hmm. Like if they're gonna do anything sketchy, I think it's gonna be pretty tough. But it's funny like how many people were upset like at the Lisk launch. They're like, man, 2 to 3x. This whole thing is bullshit. It's like what? Like it hasn't even dropped below ICO yet. Which caught me off guard, to be honest. Like I didn't really have high hopes for Lisk, but. Here we are.
Yeah, it seems like the trend has been for however long. It will drop below ICO, if not the first day, maybe the second day. You know, so that's not bad. I mean,
We'll see. Right now we're in that uber bull market, so maybe August time after this halvening thing kind of peters out, you're going to see another pullback of the market, cool down all the way into December. I don't
hey
know.
Alex, sorry to cut you off. Do you want to turn your video off because you're starting to get a little greeny in the audio? I don't know if that'll help or not.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Bam! You can just see the eye, the all-seeing eye.
The all-seeing eye.
But yeah, I don't know if you caught all what I just said there. ICOs, yeah, normally they do drop below ICO prices. That's why I didn't really pay too much mind to a lot of the ones that are going on right now. But it's pretty hard to ignore some of them. Like seeing what Lisk did, it's kind of like, oh, well, I have to put money into Waves now, and maybe that's why Waves is at such a ludicrous high level now, is because everyone saw what happened with Lisk. But I feel like if that trend continues, then eventually there's just going to be a lot of money that goes into a project that's not legit, and then you know, the market gets robbed blind, and then Bitcoin gets dumped like crazy. Like, I think there's a lot of money staying in Bitcoin right now. Like with the what was the other one that had a lot of Bitcoin donated to? Well, I guess it was Lisk, but they had like 15,000.
I know what you mean, though. It's kind of like a house of cards in terms of just perception. I mean, if there's, you know, there's at least, you know, so-called legitimate altcoins kind of hitting the scene now, which is great to see. But if one big scam gets stuck in there, that's going to kind of cast a shadow on the whole space, at least for a little while. So
Yep.
hopefully that doesn't really happen. I mean, especially with the DAO, with, you know, the way voting is set up and such. You know, I hope everything works out. I hope they don't vote.
Did you guys read up and hear about that guy? And I was tweeting it out. There's one guy that's like, we got to put a moratorium on this DAO and just stop everything right now. I don't know whether you guys saw that or not.
Yeah, actually, it's written by 3 guys, and the one guy I've interviewed before, Vlad Zamfir, and I'm already talking with him in email to have him on again. But I have the article right here. Let me see if I can share it without killing my feed. Oh yeah, it's not like
I was a bit shocked when I saw that. And yeah, this guy right here. Here's the tweet here. I suppose we can screen share here. How do I do that? We'll go like this. This guy here, Vlad Zamfir. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep, that's correct.
He's saying, check out my underviewed Reddit comment explaining in some detail why I'm calling for a moratorium on the DAO. So, you know, this isn't going to be all sunshine and roses, eh? And by all means, I mean, I can grab this link, Will, if you want to put this out. I don't know whether anybody in the audience wants that, but there it is. Alex said he had one. And you know, this is gnarly old broker Brian talking, 25 years stock market experience, blah, blah, blah. My hunch is the next scandal that we're going to be talking about, it's already happening now. It hasn't been made public yet. You know, when we're talking about the next scandal, that means the scandal's actually pretty much over.
All right, good point.
Whatever the next scandal is, it's floating out there. And I would just, you know, again, think seasonality. Remember, we were all going to be living in water teepees. If anything, you know, if you're interested in the DAO or any of this Lisk or whatever, my attitude is give the market some time to let the market actually tell you when to buy these things. And that Ethereum was a perfect example where, and I don't even know whether it actually traded back below its ICO or whatever, but, you know, it came out, and let's see if we can get this chart to cooperate. How am I going to do this? It came out, and it had to go through some growing pains, right? I guess something, oh, there we go there. You know, it was a bit of a slog. And really, you know, you know, you guys all know where I bought, right? And you know, the cool part about it is we've been doing these shows long enough. You could probably tell me exactly where I bought just looking at this chart.
Oh yeah.
And the point that I would just give to the audience is, we don't necessarily, I mean, if you want to participate in these ICOs, if you want to participate when they first come to market, that's perfectly fine. Don't bet the farm. We all understand good risk now. But my attitude is, you know, just let the market tell you when to buy these things. You know, and we don't need to be in a hurry to go and risk our hard-earned money.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at something like, you know, you were talking about the Lisk, I don't have enough data here to even draw a conclusion on this yet, right? I mean, is this basically what you're talking about? The fact that it's above this this listing price here?
Yeah, it drew a massive W the day it launched. Maybe if you drill down to like the 4 hour or the 1 hour, you can see a little better. But
all right. Well, so like I'm counseling. You know, if you're a trader, trade. Great, you can go off of the lower time frames. But a lot of the people that come to me from this show are just Joe Sixpack. They're busy. They're working in their own jobs, in their own industries. They don't want to be watching the chart 24/7. And so my advice to them is, you know, let's maybe just concentrate on these daily charts, and let's just let the market put in some sort of W here to confirm that, yeah, indeed, a bottom is in. I suppose off the 1 hours, let's see what we got here. So, yeah, there was this bottom here. Is that what you're talking about?
oh, sorry. Yeah, that's that was about 3x.
It's trying to put in another little W in here. I really don't like this gap. Oh boy, this gap scares me. You guys see this little gappy gap down there? That's a little bothersome. But yeah, you know, traders, trade, right? But a lot of the people that are coming to me, like Will and Rob, people that like your site, that are using their site, but are busy in their own lives. They want to be invested in crypto. They want to be invested in altcoins. And I'm hearing a lot of people asking me, Brian, teach me, little old lady. I want to go and do my job, milking the cows, right? Driving my tractor around the farm. And I don't want to be obsessed with looking at like hourly charts. Right? And so my advice to them is, you know, hey, let's look at this just on a higher time frame basis. And really my attitude is, we don't have enough information here to really understand whether the market's actually bottomed here yet or not. So, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there.
Oh, it's great. I really want to hear what you were thinking about Lisk with what was going on. But yeah, I was kind of the same boat. I'm like, I'll let it do its thing. Something doesn't smell quite right about it. I want to see actually some developments going on for it.
I will tell you guys, you know, and anybody who's watching this thing, we have a pretty active trading community, and our guys, they were banging out doubles here this whole way up. There were some happy some happy campers on this rally. But you know, I can't in good consciousness, unless I'm like running a day trading plan on the alts, which I'm not. I can't really touch this thing until I start seeing some sort of structure come off. And really, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing has to, you know, we say wicks and tails like to be eaten. That's one big ass tail down there. That's in my opinion kind of unfinished business.
How does that go down to 0?
Who knows? What does that number say?
Oh, okay.
0.00. So I'm not quite sure whether that's a Polo issue.
Yeah, it could be an API remnant or something there. I'll have to I'm taking a note to look at that on the chart and see why that's.
So this is 35001. Actually, so it's good that you mentioned that. Maybe that would actually lend credence to the market bottoming at this gap here. So.
Yeah, just fundamental on it.
Sorry?
So fundamental on it, Brian. So a lot of people that bought the pre-sale, they actually are having a hard time actually getting their coins to market to sell. So I think there's a bit of a liquidity issue too. It's like the first day the Windows and Mac wallet didn't work. The web wallet was down. yeah, it was just like people were having a hell of a time trying to get on the exchange, and I'm wondering if that's still what's going on. But then you also too have like, I feel like a lot of Ethereum buyers bought this, who are long-term investors. Like they bought Ethereum and they waited a year and a half before the network launched, and then they had like a 10x return. So I think they're pretty happy to just sit on this thing and see what happens in a year's time.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I could easily see that. And, you know, I suppose if you took, you know, free money that you got from the DAO, I don't know whether you could park that into here. Technically, you wouldn't have any risk on this investment. It's not a bad idea. Trading-wise, though, please be careful, guys.
Yeah.
Up and down like a horse drawers.
Yeah, honestly, that chart looks like so many we've seen before, where it's just going to slowly kind of
bleed.
UFO there.
Yeah.
Saucer there.
I suppose, you know, if we wanted to get technically bullish, you know, maybe there's a nice little railroad tracks. We've talked about that before, so you could take a shot margin-wise off of these lows holding. But if these lows break, you got to get the hell out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of what I see there. I'm not quite sure if I think actually, you know, the interesting thing is, what if you had done that Yobit Lisk trade?
Oh yeah, that you would have not made any
relate
profit. Oh, sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
How does that relate to this? Like, let's say you did that Yobit thing, you bought it there. Can you just transfer that over to this now and sell this, or
the market did continue? Yeah, the market continued on the same ticker, but like it was trading at, I don't know, like 30x, like 30 times the ICO price, and this chart here I think only shows like 12 as at its high. So no matter when you bought the IOU, you would have had you would be at a loss. Like it's trading in like Neverland. Like nobody I think believes the evaluation on it. But it was kind of funny to see all the people who invested in Lisk were like, man, I'm getting ready to buy my Lamborghini. Like I really should have bought. I'm quitting. Like this is crazy. I made more on this trade than I did in a year's worth of work. It's like, okay, well, you haven't realized it yet, so calm the fuck down.
Well, and then also, too, you have to worry about the amount of risk that they took relative to their whole portfolios. I mean, yeah, you can make a fortune in the market on one trade, but is that sustainable over like months and years? You know, that's where that concept of like wrecked comes in, right? Mm-hmm. And what we really want to, you know, I don't know about you and your group, Alex, but what I really want to drive home to people is, you know, what is, if there is such a thing, what is appropriate risk? What is appropriate speculation? This isn't Vegas, what we're trying to teach people here. We're trying to teach people sustainability. Hey, if they took less than 5% portfolio risk and they got Lamborghini kind of returns, then hats off to them. Yes. But that might be a little bit unrealistic.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know about you guys, but there's a couple of interesting coins on the wheel tonight.
Let's spin that wheel.
All right. Okay.
Let's get crazy.
Let me share my screen.
Yeah, Alex has done the wheel tonight because I'm running around like a chicken without a head right now.
All right. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Da-da-da.
You got the sound effects?
Oh, back. Start.
Who was doing that? Rob?
Yeah.
I'm like looking at my screen going, what the hell? When did they add in the peg marker noise?
Hey, what's first on the block?
Starcoin.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Is this now? Tell me how the hell Max Kaiser is tied into this damn thing.
Okay, so yeah, Kaiser has a coin already, like Max Coin, that he launched on his show, but then him and another guy, Simon Dixon from To The Future, created Starcoin, which is like the crowdfunding coin.
Alex, I think you're gonna have to turn your camera off. Your audio's cutting out again.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because this thing just cratered. Actually, there's a guy that I really respect online. I think his handle is Not So Fast.
Yeah.
And we were all putting out tweets going, "Oh fuck, we're bag holding for a while on this one."
So, yeah, Not So Fast is actually in Waterloo, and I got tickets to see Max Kaiser on June 16th, so I'll be sure to grill him. So if you guys have any questions, send me a
Yeah, let's
tweet
throw a
now.
tomato.
Someone told me to throw a shoe at him.
Yeah, well, yeah, shoe, even better. Does anybody? How is he related to this story? Just so I understand, is it his group that brought this to market?
Yep, it is officially his coin.
Oh, okay.
Like it's his name on it, and him and Simon Dixon are doing crowdfunding with it. So there was something called like Start Cuts, where it was like some hair salon wanted funding to do something crypto related, so they started a crowdfund on StartJoin, which is the platform that they're using.
Yeah, StartJoin was their first kind of crowdfunding platform, and then Bank to the Future, I think, somehow is related. Like, I think...
yeah, Bank to the Future, I think, is more like VC money.
Or something.
Yeah, Bank to the Future is a lot like VC money, I think, coming in, like fiat, and then Starcoin is a lot more like altcoin type fundraising. But someone I know who actually did a fundraising on it, Chris Ellis, he did that Bitcoin node project or whatever on it, and they tried to pay him all of his funding in Starcoin, which is completely illiquid, and the price went down after they announced how much he raised. So I feel like
we've heard a couple things from people as well in regards to Bank to the Future, kind of similar. We were actually kind of loosely considering possibly doing it for Coinigy, but just promptly backed off. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just let's keep this technical analysis as simple as possible. You guys have heard me talk about, just basically buying against lows, looking to sell against highs. If we go back in time and actually look at all the historic lows here, and then we just, what's really cool, everybody watching, right, on Coinigy, you can just go grab this horizontal ray tool and just literally go back on whatever coin you're watching and just go put a little ray off of all your lows. And really, in fact, this is the module that we teach in the school, horizontal support and resistance. I don't really have a problem with students just going and we just say, just trick the shit out of your chart. And so now, I just did this exercise back when this thing first listed. Now let's hit the reset button and go see what current price is doing relative to all that. And as you can see, all we're doing is we're just looking at a price chart alone, nothing else, no indicators, right? And we can literally see where the horizontal support and resistance on this name has been coming in over time. And you can see this one candle, it just dumped right down into the original lows. And look at the volume that came in here. Right? So my hunch is somebody moved some serious coin. There was like quite literally almost like a change of ownership transaction that just happened on this one candle here.
I heard a rumor of a guy who had a lot of Starcoin and lost like 30 Bitcoin in value on his holdings. So he basically called it quits and was like, you know what, screw this, market dumped it all.
Dumped it, eh?
Yeah, that's.
If we're kind of if we're lucky, maybe this is some sort of catalyst, right? Where maybe Price discovered the uncle point of that guy, and now maybe we can start the story over again. Earlier in the year, I had been touting the idea that I wanted to buy on this gap fill right here. Me and my little old lady account, so it's not like I'm going to go bet the farm on this story. And the long and short of it here is you can clearly see I'm underwater, and like I was saying with that not so fast and stuff, I'm going to be bag holding little old lady. She's going to be holding this coin for a while. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo. This is a very realistic possibility in the market. It sucks, but it is a very realistic risk that we have to live with. And this is sort of why we don't ever bet the farm on anyone's story. Now, if you were playing this a little bit heavier. Like I have a rule, little old lady, she doesn't put more than 5% of her portfolio into any one name. I think we went in like 1 or 2% of our altcoin portfolio into this. Not a hell of a lot. But if you did go in deeper, right, and let's say you were like, well, Brian's got a half decent idea, maybe I'll go take a shot against these lows. Can you guys see how the market was even itself saying that, you know, okay, that was a cute little gap fill, and then all of a sudden, can you guys see this M? Up, down, up, fail, right through that level. Oops. Let's see if we can do that a little bit better. Oh, we got to take this off, and then right through there. Can you guys see that? A little better. Right, something like that. Can you see the M that came in? And unfortunately, when I saw this M, you see how that M just developed right off of that gap fill line, right there? That was a major, major warning sign. So, you know, I don't even know whether you can short this on Polo or whatever. You could have played this M if M's are in your trading plan. I don't really like to short these kind of names on this. I don't think it's a very good trade location. But, you know, I mean, everybody's bend is different. If your trading plan is to trade M's, there was a setup there. And this was the end result, right? And your guy who dumped all the way down here would have been a pretty good trade. Brian, right, he actually bought here, little old lady style, and we're dying, you know, 1,000 relative deaths on this coin. Not really pretty. But at the same time, I'm actually encouraged that they brought it down into these levels, this massive liquidation. Like I said, potentially a change in ownership. Now, for us to believe in this, we got to start seeing some sort of bottoming action. We don't really have any momentum plays or anything here. If anything, for those watching the charts, you know, this rally spike here definitely defines the top end of your range, right there. And then obviously the panic dump low is the bottom end of your range. So I wouldn't be surprised if this price actually has to play in this range for quite a while.
So she's moving sideways potentially.
For now, you know.
It's funny, like, Brian, that you mentioned shorting on Polo, because just before we saw the rise, I think we went like 18K was the top. Max Kaiser was saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to $1, and we're gonna get on Polo and all this stuff." And yeah,
you mean
it didn't really get above
here?
10 cents. Yeah, that I think. Here? Yeah, so Kaiser started tweeting about it again, and then. It didn't really turn out so well.
You can see the bullish structure. Beautiful little W came in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is that? That's like 400? So you actually could have banged off a couple doubles. Well, watch out for the train.
You okay, Alex?
Yeah. Yeah, no, my hometown here has the most trains per capita in Canada. It's crazy.
Okay. You know, there was a little tradable trade through here, right? And it was a nice rally, but actually, is that a fractal? What the hell high is that? Oh my God, I'm getting old. 18,788, 18,700. So no, the sell unfortunately didn't come into way down here. What a mess. It would have been sweet if that was a nice little inside bar there. But yeah, I mean, this is the vulgarities of trading, guys. This is a total reality. Now, you know, just to finish off this thought, as it stands right now, trading range-wise, can you guys understand? It's almost tragic. Just as I was interested in this gap to buy on a test of these lows, can you guys see how it left a gap right at this M top there? Can you see that? You see the gap right there?
Yep.
Sadly, in my opinion, that is a major brick wall, right? It's going to be awfully tough for this name to get its ass up through here. And if we probably did fibs and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if that's like 38.2 right in here, maybe off of a range. You know, maybe we go something along these lines. Let's see what we. Oh, actually, this low is so low, eh? Even off of there, right? Where is the gap? All right, so it's right in there, right in the reload short zone there, right?
Interesting.
If we go off of this high, and let's put all our fibs on here. 38.2, 50%, which isn't a real fib. Oh, wow, look at that. Can you guys see how 38.2 off of this candle high here lines up fairly nicely with that gap there?
Mm-hmm.
And remember, you know, and that's actually, there's that gap low there. So you can literally see there's going to just be a world of traffic, and gee whiz, what a coincidence that's right against this top here, right? I suppose you could argue one concept that we like to teach, and we've talked a little bit about this with you, Alex, this idea of the institutional fingerprint. You know, we need to understand that who puts tops into markets? Does the retail investing public put a top in the market? Not really. The institutions do, where somebody just literally stopped this little bull rally in its tracks, right? And we could literally say that this rally started here, but ended here. And then we also have another one where this rally sort of started here, but ended here. So, you know, and we were just talking a moment ago about whether you could short or not. Can you guys appreciate that this M, somebody did stop this rally and really initiated the big dump? If anybody is short this name, they're going to defend these levels like a dog, eh? Mm-hmm. And so now we've got 38.2, 50%. You know, if we do institutional fingerprints, we can see major resistance levels in here. I suppose we could do horizontal support and resistance off of all of these levels. This is going to be a slog. This is going to take a long time to clean up. So unfortunately, that's my, and I mean, we'll just throw in momentum here, but my hunch is momentum's not looking good. Yep. Look at that OBV, right? There is your guy dumping. There's no bullish structure here anywhere. This is going to take some time to put in a W and start working its way back up again. MACD, we do have a potential divergence, but potential isn't confirmed. And I suppose on the big candle dump, Willie was stupid. So maybe on a short-term basis, you might have had a little, you know, counter-trend rally trade, but that would have been very, very difficult for the Joe's Q six-pack to play. So all in all, kind of a sad story. It sucks, but as long as you manage risk appropriately, and really little old lady, she isn't in a big hurry. I'm long from up here, and right now it's just a big hurry up and do nothing for me.
What do you think the chances are of us getting another huge pump like has happened in the past on this? Is it kind of just beyond?
I think it's totally realistic, but can you see, Will, how it sort of had to set up this base, and then
sure, yeah, before the pump.
Before the pump, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, viewers are like, yeah, Brian, but I totally think that Kaiser will pump this again, and you're absolutely right. And if anything, the worst part about it is he might have been the one buying in here. He's just buying back all the coins that he was shelling out to the public up top here. And the interesting thing is we do have a gap sitting way up top here. So maybe like a year from now,
sure,
I could see that gap being filled in. Over the next month, 2 months, I don't see a heck of a lot here.
Yep. Hey, Brian, I was just texting Not So Fast here, and it turns out the admiration is mutual. He loves your TA, so he sends his regrets on joining us tonight. I offered him to jump in on our chat, but maybe on the next episode.
That's smart, eh? You know, like I don't tell people to follow myself enough on this show. Follow CR Investor, right? But if you want to follow anybody on Twitter, you know, of course, Alex, he's very, very smart. I think he's worth the while. But this Not So Fast guy, I've been in this crypto space for a while. Actually, it doesn't show here. That Not So Fast, and let's see if we can just get you his little thing here. And here's a plug for you, Slick. So now you got to come onto our show sometime. But this Not So Fast guy and the crypto gambler. Remember we had that gambler guy on your show a while ago, and maybe he still comes back on. I can't find these things.
Yeah, he lays a little lower now. Gambler likes to kind of keep to himself a little.
Wasn't
bit
he
more,
doing some kind of contest? Or no, that's Gambit. That's a completely different
Gambit. Thing. And actually, since you mentioned Gambit, that's Colin Crypto's coin, and Colin actually does some really good news tweets along with Jackfruit. But yeah, follow Colin Crypto and
hey, we got to give a shout out to good old John Bollinger. I've known John for at least 25 years.
You know him personally, Brian?
I talked to him back in the 90s, but I doubt.
Oh, that's awesome.
He
tweeted. He had a Bitcoin tweet recently. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Well, and like I said, we got to give a hats off because we have a few members in our site that really love Bollinger Bands, and so they were like, "Yeah, you used to talk to John. You got to get a hold of him." So we were actually bantering back and forth with John. Just a fantastic guy. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life. Just an absolute sweetheart. And you got to give hats off to him. He totally called the Bitcoin move here using his own Bollinger Bands indicator here. And a lot of people were really giving him a big shout out. So, he's now actually interested in this crypto space. So, maybe if we're really lucky, we might get him on here one day. Who knows?
Yeah. Send out the bat signal, Brian. Let's make it happen.
But I used to, on my 1980s website, I used to quote John as a source. He was one of the very first people on Wall Street that ever used the term rational analysis. Right? This is a quote from John Bollinger right here. John Bollinger, right? And I literally have known John and John Murphy at StockCharts.com. I've known these guys ever since the beginning of the internet. When these guys were still writing the newsletters and getting our price charts in the mail.
Nice.
So anyway, sorry, didn't mean to get off on a tangent there. So,
yeah, you guys want to do another spin of the wheel?
Sure. I mean, it sucks that we have to acknowledge losing trades, but if anything, it's probably good for the audience to understand that, hey, even Brian can pick some dogs too. I've got my shit list too. All right. So, all right, Go for it. What's next on the list?
Maid. So, some interesting news.
Interesting. We had some folks in the live chat talking about Maid a couple minutes ago, too.
Yeah, they just put out a press release saying that in order to move forward, they have to sell more of their pre-mine. So more coins are going to be hitting the market. Lots of sell pressure.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, at least they give you an announcement.
And so the coin's moving up. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, at least they have the gall to let people know that it's coming, as opposed to just.
Yeah, maybe the market respects them. I don't know. Jesus, look how many bloody.
Oh, and then Maid Bagholder just said in chat, the coins were created by accident. They were not a pre-mine.
Oh. Okay. The 452 million coins. Man, these guys there, it's almost ironically enough, a lot of people in the crypto space get really angry at people like the Fed printing money like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yet, for some reason, in crypto, it's okay for you to have billions of coins outstanding.
I know. I was just going to say, it's like they just decided to issue more shares of their stock, basically.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Dilute everybody, and oh well.
This is getting to be a dangerous trend here. We had one that we were in love with last year. I don't even know whether you remember. We talked about it at length, and I really liked the story, Digibyte. And then I went the other day and I looked at how many coins out, and I just about fell off my chair. So it's almost a bit hypocritical what I'm seeing in the crypto space. I'm not quite sure what to make of this, to be honest with you. But this whole spring has been very, very odd in this crypto space. Like this whole DAO.
It's been interesting, though, man. It's
interesting.
I like it better than last winter.
Well, that's more seasonal. If anything, I kind of liked last year because what I felt was that the whole space lifted. But the problem is, if someone like a DAO comes and siphons off $150 million, the whole space can't lift.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's yeah.
And so great.
That money's flowing out of the entire altcoin sphere into one asset that potentially could erupt or crash.
So just on first blush, you guys can pretty much see where I would probably get really excited about Maid, right? You can see the nice little bottom that formed in through here. You can see the breakout, and they were like, do we really want to break out? Yeah, we do want to break out, right? And we often see this. This is very typical behavior. And if we look at Bitcoin, it sort of did the same thing, comes back down, checks breakout levels. Yep, I do want to be here, and away we go. And you guys remember in February and March, man, we were having a hell of a party in our altcoin land, eh? You guys remember that? It seems like so long ago, eh?
Yeah.
It was one hell of a party. And, very simply put, what I really hope is we've conveyed to our audience and your user base and people on Blocktalk and stuff, Alex, that we just cannot be chasing these kind of markets up here, right? You just can't do it. And this is unfortunately where all the FOMO comes in and all that. And if anything, if you see a story go running up, grab your fib tool on Coinigy, right? Really easy to use, handy tools, great interface. Slap on your reload zones, and only when price gets down into these zones can we actually start considering about risking your hard-earned money. Sad thing is there's no guarantee that we're going to bottom here, but at least you're not chasing price. And one might argue that, wherever the bottom comes in, if it does come in off of these lows, then great. We're just going to basically use reload zones going the other direction for price targets. So, if the coin is bottoming in here and you take a shot or off of these levels, well, this is a perfectly natural destination for taking profits. And in fact, I might even suggest you just spoon feed the market coins as it moves up. Cool part about it, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is there's some price gaps we could use as objectives. Well, actually, it looks pretty clean. No, I thought there were some gaps up here. Maybe it's off of the polar.
Maybe on Bittrex or something.
Yeah, Bittrex could be. Oh, yeah. Do you see that little gap right up there? Oh, and then there's another gap right there, right?
Yep.
So, very much like what we saw just on Sterk. If and when they do decide to turn this train around and it starts moving up in earnest, we have some very realistic price objectives. And, as we did with the reload short zones, you could see that those price objectives line up with this box up here. And this is an excellent testament for people just, grab your Coinigy account, get it all set up, get all your fibs and all your tools all lined up, and then just sit back and be patient. So with that said, I was actually very encouraged by what I saw. I don't really like the sound of what you just said there, Alex, but nonetheless, I was encouraged with what I saw price action-wise. You guys notice how we have, market structure, trend line, working its way lower. You can see how the market rallied up, tried to recapture, then lost it, then came up to it, then came down, then came up to it, then recaptured it. Unfortunately, if we break down here, guys, and, everybody grab your trend line tool. This isn't difficult to draw. My hunch is we may have to come down in some sort of big spike and tag this trend line from the upside. And interestingly enough, look how that original breakout level and the trend line up nicely there. So we may have to do a bit more probing here, especially if the market gets a bit spooked about, more coins hitting the market.
Accidental coins.
I would have liked to have seen these lows hold. So this is encouraging, right? You see this low, this low, this low. What I'd love to see now, come on, Maiders, is you've got to get the coin back up and give me a nice closed bar right up here. And then can you guys see the potential clothesline W that's going to come in here?
Potential, yeah.
It might be asking a bit much. Maybe we're working off of this low up to this high, down to this low. So give me again, can you see? Now we got a major, major battle area. Give me a nice close above this closing high, this high, this high, this high. Do you see how they're all lining up there? It's almost like the market is sort of drawn a line in the sand here. So give me a nice close up here, and then we can start believing that the momentum story has turned. Now let's go down and look at the internals and see if we have anything to help us here. Volume, not really much to get excited about there, eh? We are coming down and testing these lows. We need a, you know what they like to call this? They like to call this a white knight. Have you ever heard of a white knight before?
I've heard it in terms of the internet, but not in terms of...
I'm not quite sure what it means on the
Yeah, you know what? It's not much I can say.
But that might be something completely different. But anyway, in the stock market, we call a white knight. Somebody comes in, rides in on their white horse, shining armor, and saves the day. So can you see how this thing was just tanking, and then somebody came in and said, I'll buy that, and that launched it higher, right? We need a white knight to come in here. Unfortunately,
it sounds like it's not going to be the Maid devs. It sounds like they're going to continue to be selling here in the near future.
That's not an encouraging sign.
Praying for some more VC money.
What I'd really like to see is OBV-wise this low hold. And then we need to get OBV to work its way back up through these highs. And then, of course, you know, my W's, right? Right now, at best, volume-wise, we're stuck in a range where the white knights put a bottom in the market. But then look at this market structure top here, right? We're fighting against an uphill battle here. It's looking tough.
Isn't the OBV technically making higher highs though? Barely.
Well, hold on a second. Higher highs?
Yeah, or higher lows rather. Sorry.
You mean this low versus
that
this
low
low?
versus that low? Yeah.
Okay, so what we really need to see that that's confirmed is OBV has to go all the way back up here to confirm that that is indeed a bottom.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? I mean, the W is really big, right? Down, up, down, like that, right?
Yeah, we need the last up.
Yeah, that it doesn't confirm until we get way up there.
Gotcha.
Now, what you might find, if we're lucky, is you might find that we get a cute little W that comes in down here. And if you do see that, that might be playable, right? Just like this M was playable up here. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, momentum. We looked at volume, not really impressive. Momentum, you know, not a hell of a lot to write home about here. We had a bit of a divergence. You know, I don't like how they broke this here, but we had a bit of a divergence when momentum went up through here. This is my raw momentum reading. But again, I'm just not seeing a hell of a lot to get too excited about here. I suppose we could maybe do trend lines. See how if we just, and everybody, you know, watching, you could do exactly the same on your indicators. We just identified a market structure top and momentum, drew a trend line. And guys, do you see how it failed right at that trend line there?
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, do you think that was an accident? I don't.
Nope, doesn't look like it.
And then if we look at this uptrend, right, I mean, we did that, and this is really sloppy, so I don't think you can really use that. But I think this is what the market's going into there. So, can you see the potential little W that's trying to come in here? Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we go down, up, down. Now we haven't broken out, but sometimes you guys see on the internet, I'll put out charts, and if I see a really tight consolidation, I'll often just put out a chart that looks like that. In fact, I did one on Bitcoin when it was ranging about a month or so ago. So quite literally, anybody who's going to play this on momentum, if we break these lows and break this trend line, that's a sell signal. If we break this high and this line here, that's a buy signal. It's just as simple as that. This is just raw momentum, right? You know me. How many reasons do I want you guys to have to take a trade? See if anybody can remember.
47.
Magic number is at least 3. So if you can couple, if we got a buy signal here with, say, price structure, moving average crosses, OBV, whatever, then you could justify maybe taking a trade, right? As a trade setup is what we like to call it. But right now, there is no signal right here. We're very close. And my hunch is we're going to break lower here. But we'll see what happens. And then good old Willie. Let's see what Willie has to say. Market structure top. Market structure top in the moving average here. We should probably change this color. Can you guys see that?
It's a little faint.
All right. Is that a little better? There we go. Can you see that a little better?
Yep, that looks better.
All right. We never did actually get stupidly oversold, which is interesting. Don't like this market, this market structure top, and then, remember the OBV also gave you that signal. And now the moving average itself's got a structure top, and we just broke to new lows here on the Williams percentage R. So not a hell of a lot to get excited about there. So the long and short of it here is big hurry up and let's see what happens. If they can turn this back up through our little momentum bottom, get the price to close back up here, then we've got a shot for a nice rally. If you wanted to play this on a margin basis, you can see stabs against these lows. If you want to just risk against these lows, my hunch is 30% chance, maybe 25% chance.
Okay.
I don't know whether you really want to go with those kind of odds. They're pretty low. Certainly not a trade that I could margin trade. But at the same time, little old lady, if we get back down into this area, I think I might take a shot somewhere down in here if I get some sort of reversal signal. But for the time being, I was really enthusiastic. I was really interested in here. But as you can see, the internals just weren't there. They were getting there. Things were looking good. And now Alex is telling us, oh boy, here comes a bunch of supply.
Mm-hmm.
So as it stands right now, I just got to pass. Sucks.
Well,
Right?
it is what it is.
Do we want to take a, how are we doing on time?
Yeah, we could get a couple more. I don't know. I muted Alex because his microphone was making noise. You can probably unmute if you can, Alex. I don't know if he's still there.
He gave up.
Alex gave up.
Well, we wait till he comes back. Maybe let's take a boo at good old Bitcoin.
Sure.
I was putting out tweets, and really what I find fascinating about Bitcoin is it's like literally a different story from exchange to exchange to exchange. One chart that I did up actually had 2 harmonic levels on OKCoin off of this level here. And I think, and you guys remember just a few minutes ago, I put out a tweet not that long ago where I just simply said that Bitcoin was in a battle range, and really all you had to do was just play whatever the resolution was. Do you see how we went and broke this high, and then actually came back and just settled right on that level? You see that?
Yeah.
Went up and tagged this immediate harmonic and then calmed back down. I don't have a problem if you just went and just bought this breakout here with your stop down below here. It's a bit of risk. You certainly couldn't do it on a margin basis. But isn't it interesting how, we broke out through this level, and that triggered, where is it? Actually, and each exchange is slightly different, but do you see how we had this historic high up here? So literally this breakout triggered the purple harmonic. Do you see that? The purple one?
Yep.
And do you see how price literally just rallied straight into that level? And it's been one hell of a fight around this level. You see, I mean, this is...
Yeah, wow, that is right on.
On Bitstamp, for example, it hit this harmonic and it just dumped like $50. And people were like, well, don't watch Stamp. Nobody watches Stamp anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Brian, you dinosaur. But the funny thing is...
That's so sad, man. We're talking about cryptocurrency exchanges. Nothing's old hat yet.
But This is
except for Mt. Gox. Sorry.
This is a fantastic testament to the power of harmonics. And actually, let's see if we, just for old time's sake, we'll put the stamp chart on here. Let's see, we can go there to there, and there to there, and that is that butt boy there. So hopefully everybody in the audience just got to see how I did that, right? This is basically how we draw harmonic levels. This level here is actually what's known as a potential reversal zone, or what they call a PRZ. And do you guys see how when they hit this level, right, that's this line, right, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
When they hit this level, the next candle, look how crazy it got, right? It hit this level, it opened up here, and look how far it went down here.
Yep.
And people were like, flash crash, flash crash, flash crash! Ah!
Mm-hmm.
And then we just jackknifed right back to it. Isn't that incredible? And you can see just over the past few days, we're just oscillating. It sure looks to me like Stamp's trying to push away here. But yeah. I'm not quite sure how to interpret Stamp. Is it old hat? Is it irrelevant? We were talking earlier.
I've been noticing, not to cut you off, Brian, but GDAX, which was formerly Coinbase Exchange, their price, it almost seems like the variations go higher and lower than a lot of the other exchanges. So GDAX, it's just GDAX.com.
That right there, GDAX?
Yeah, and they were, at least on the hourly chart, it looked to me like they were getting higher than other exchanges and lower than other exchanges in terms of the variance the other day.
Okay.
I don't know if that rings true in general or not, but
I have heard it. It's interesting that you say Coinbase. Right?
Yeah, this is formerly Coinbase's exchange, which a lot of people didn't know about. It was exchange.coinbase.com, and then they just relaunched as GDAX, which is Global Digital Something Exchange.
Asset Exchange.
Asset Exchange.
They didn't want to be an altcoin exchange, that's all.
Right.
For whatever it's worth, I've had actually a few other people also tell me that Coinbase seems to be the market that a lot of people are following lately. So it's interesting that you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean they have probably one of, if not the highest concentration of U.S. traders. I would think, just because they're essentially, a lot of people trust Coinbase in terms of their wallets and stuff. So it's easy for them to get into exchange from their Coinbase wallet.
Okay, so our harmonic conversation, basically same thing. Can you see how powerful that harmonic was there? Right? And look how she dojied right off that harmonic level, right? All the way up here, all the way down here. So it's just a good, for people that are watching this show, right? You guys remember that I put out this tweet just saying, just simply go with the range. And quite literally, there was an air pocket there where literally the price broke out and boom, straight up to that harmonic level. The only other thing that I wanted to mention about this was that we do have one more big, fat, juicy harmonic floating out there. Do you guys see is that blue or white? I can't tell. I'm slightly...
Cyan, I think.
Cyan? Is that what we call it?
Cyan.
All right, so we have one more juicy harmonic setting up top here. And, it might be interesting if we go here. And I don't know if we want to use off of this, though, but what the hell? Let's try, see what happens. We'll go there to there, and let's make this, what the hell, we'll go, well, how about a color you guys can see? How about orange, all right? So we'll go there to there. And everybody watching this video, you can do this on your own charts. It's not that difficult. I just drew from high to low. I went clone, and it produced the second chart, and I'm just going to simply drag the chart and plunk it right on the low of the next bar, or whatever that consolidation is. I'm getting the feeling that maybe why don't we just go off the original bar.
Wow, they kind of intersect.
Well,
kind
what
of
I
an
just
interesting
right.
coincidence.
So what I was suggesting here is, if we go boobity boop and boobity boop, we're starting to get an argument for price to head up there, right? And I've gotten big, fat, juicy sell signals in the stock market. I've actually gone and shorted a bunch of the stock market. And I've made the argument for quite some time that I think Bitcoin actually moves in opposites to things like the Chinese stock market. We've been hearing about the Chinese and their currency issues. I think that this last big, juicy harmonic target is floating out there. And, I hear a lot of sort of talk in the community that they want to see $600. And you notice how these two harmonics are starting to line up right around that $600 level.
Man, that would be awesome. People would go crazy.
Percentage basis, what are we talking about? Right? We're talking about, where are we here? We're at 536, so 540, so we're talking about $60, 10% move. That's not really that uncommon.
Yeah, it's not unheard of in Bitcoin, that's for
sure. In any asset. I mean, gee whiz, we see our little altcoins moving that kind of movement in 10 minutes, eh?
Yep.
So, I think, we got halving event coming up. We've got stock market's not very happy. We've got Fed threatening to raise interest rates. We got the Chinese threatening to devalue their currency. Put it all, and then, I think that there could still be more liquidation of this DAO. Put it all together.
Perfect storm.
I don't see any reason why we're not going to hit this 600. It's just a question of how we do it. So, anyway, so that's some Bitcoin talk. Thought we'd throw that in. Alex, are you back?
Yeah, I think so. I've crashed a couple times here, but I think it's letting me talk for more than 5 seconds.
Can you spin the wheel? Can you spin the wheel?
That's the thing. I kind of lost the wheel. I had to restart the throw. I can throw some random.
Fake it. Do you remember some of the names?
Well, I actually threw a coin on there that I'm interviewing on Friday. I know it's not at a buy level yet, but maybe you can give me a second opinion on it. Huntercoin, HUC. So I'm thinking it's actually a really old coin on Poloniex. Don't look at Cripsy.
Is Cripsy still alive?
The charts are, I guess.
Huh, interesting. Okay, so what do we got here? They kind of were trying to ramp it here, right? Look at that beautiful bottom in there, right?
I'm thinking buying around 350 Satoshis is probably a pretty good level area. Maybe even start nibbling at 500 and then put a bunch of buys at the old lows.
Or a simple horizontal support and resistance. You can really see there's some sort of level in here that they're.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, look at that. Look at that double bottom that came right in off of that level there. So, and that is 334. So I guess I can understand your logic. I'm a little concerned. Maybe ask them, what was the project that you were just working on and what happened? Because it looks to me like the market tried to put in a bottom here. Can you see this? Down, up, down, down, up, down, up, and then they gapped it higher. Whoops, we lost them. All right, well, maybe watch this later on.
Bye-bye.
This is actually a fantastic little trading system that I learned from an old trader guy. I haven't seen him in years. But this is called Doji Gap. If you ever see, everybody's watching, right? And Alex, if you watch this later. If you ever see the market put in a doji, and then the next day gap higher, this is a very bullish setup. But the key here is the buy signal does not come in until one tick trade above this high. And as you can clearly see, that never happened here, right?
So if the price goes up basically 1 Satoshi above that, that's...
This thing's going to fucking rocket, right? Okay. But you can see that just never came in.
One thing I wanted...
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm back. One thing I wanted to point out just before I lose my connection here for the last time, if you go to like the very beginning of the chart, or you can look at the whole thing. So this last high we made is basically right at that first bottom we made. So like that's a huge resistance level right there.
Yeah.
You can see that, but every pump has been slowly closer and closer to coming back through that. So maybe this next one will be through that level. I don't know. It's just something I kind of thought would be like the perfect story, you know. So
Right. So before you cut out here, right, I asked you to ask the guys what were they working on here, and what happened. Do you see how this is very similar to that start, right? So they were working on something, and just before you cut out there, we were talking about Doji Gap. The market looked like it was getting ready to go, and then something just punched these guys in the nose. What happened here?
Yeah, because that was the old support level, and now we're going back down to the bottom support level. So yeah, that's kind of a good question I think I'll have for them as well.
Something happened within the internal story of this coin. They might not tell you, right? They might be like, well, you know, that's kind of private. Right?
Maybe they accidentally discovered some coins.
Maybe. You know, when you see this kind of air pocket, often we say, especially if you're trading like futures and stuff like that, and you see how that there was like kind of a floor on this thing right through this level here. A little bit of a tail there, but you can see how they tried to turn it here. And you can see here, and you can see how they broke it down. They really tried desperately to recapture that level and then lost it. So the problem here is when you look back, we see that there's this big air pocket here. You guys see that? With the fight level before that was off of these lows. So this is a bit dangerous, right? You could very easily see just like this was just 1-2, and it looks to me like they're just slowly grinding this down. And you know, Alex, your level in here, that 350 area is pretty good, but the problem is, doesn't that say 650, 625?
Oh yeah, like we got a little ways to go.
Yeah, what you're saying is I'm gonna buy this when it's about half of what the current price is.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not looking to buy right now, but I'm definitely watching this. It sounds like a long-term coin that's been around for a while. It's got a lot of people that use it, so.
Right. So caution coming. You know, the good part about this, hopefully our audience is just, okay, Brian, I've heard enough. God damn it, I'm never going to buy another FOMO pump again. Right? We're just not allowed to buy this. You know, if our audience does nothing more but just gets into the habit of buying these names when they're testing lows, ideally, of course, we want to wait for W's and momentum signals, yada, yada, yada. But if we can just simply get the audience in the habit not to chase names, then we've done our job. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to go off on a rant there.
No, that's important.
It is, seriously. I mean, we're talking about, what's really sad about the market is somebody could work really, really hard at a job to earn this money, and then they don't realize that they're just walking into a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that
happens so often in crypto. I mean, that's
yeah.
the nature of it.
But let's not just lambaste this as crypto. The audience need to understand that this happens in the venture capital market everywhere. Right? In the States, we'd be talking about the bulletin board stocks. You guys ever heard of the bulletin board?
No, can't say I have.
The pink sheets.
Oh, yeah.
Another one. Where we can find at least a half a dozen charts that look exactly like this, if not more. In Canada, we call it the venture exchange. I had a stock just over the winter go from 1 penny to 18 cents. And it gave us a buy signal on a penny. Was that a good buy? Fucking incredible buy. Mm-hmm. Right? But, you know, the audience should understand this is actually very normal for venture capital. This is exactly what's supposed to happen. But now that you've watched us, how many shows have we done? 432 or something?
Yeah, 700 or so.
Right? Hopefully, after a while, you watch this message is sinking in. We're not allowed to chase markets anymore. You're just not allowed to. All right. What do you think?
Well, I think we're right at the time. So maybe we should get a move on. I don't know. How did you guys feel about doing the show an hour earlier? Are we all on the same page here? I don't know if Rob really.
I know for you guys,
that's good. That's
probably
fine.
a lot better. Please understand that I am really, really pressed for time
Sure.
through this quarter. I'm more than happy to go out of my way to do this, but kind of like what happened tonight, I just had to pop in at the last moment.
Yeah, well, we can play it by ear. I mean, it's kind of mostly to help basically us and Alex out. Mostly Alex, because he's even a further time zone down from us. So,
right.
but we can play it by ear next week. I don't know if anybody who's watching, if you liked or didn't like, the show being an hour earlier, let us know.
Yeah, feedback is always appreciated. If you're asking me, I'm more than happy to work with you guys, and I appreciate that. It's not really fair asking you guys to be up at like 11, 12 o'clock at night doing these shows. But just understand that I am really pressed for time this quarter.
Sure.
So, by the end of this July, I should be a lot better.
Awesome. Well, we will play it by ear, continue to do that. And I guess on that note, thanks again for a great show, Brian and Alex and Rob and everybody. And we will see you. Oh, yeah. Get your plugs in, definitely.
Not allowed to, in fact, yeah, okay. So our site, therationalinvestor.co, Julian and Stuart worked really, really hard on this. Nice chat room, good karma, very active blog. We trade almost everything under the sun. I've got a really cool little market scanner that's working really well now. We do daily videos off of it. We call it our daily briefs. And, of course, for those people that are watching this show that would like to, even at the very least, just replicate our little old lady approach to altcoin investing. How many coins are we up to now? 103 coins.
Oh.
So it just keeps going and going, and you can see if you had just done Bitcoin buy and hold strategy from the day we started this, you'd be up 13%. If you do our little old lady approach to investing in cryptocurrencies, your portfolio is up 301% right now. So I'm very proud of the hard work that Julian and Stuart have put in building this. From day one, I've told you guys I want to own crypto, so that's exactly what we're doing here. And if you want to learn how to do this along with all of the students, and man, we have one hell of an alumni base all over the world. We've got people everywhere. I was shocked to know that we actually have a satellite contingent inside China now.
Wow.
We can open up a branch office.
All right. Trip to China.
This is my schedule. Look how busy I am.
So we know you're working hard, kicking ass, and taking names, Brian. So
yeah,
tell you what, man.
And I got it. Big shout out to the Coinigy boys. Our site people love your service. Thank you very much for the awesome offer that you offer our students. And it's a win-win situation all around. So thank you very much.
Right on, and right back at you. I mean, obviously, you guys using Coinigy and your students using Coinigy helps us out. So, and a lot of your students have given us great feedback in terms of development and you name it. So,
good.
Right back at you, bud.
Yeah, it's really good. Alex, are you there?
Yeah. So, I guess the only thing I got to plug right now is this Friday. I have Blocktalk with the Huntercoin team, or I guess one of the guys. And yeah, we'll be discussing it. And if you watched our last show with Open Bazaar, you'll see we had quite the party going on in Decentralized, Vancouver. And there'll be, another sort of shindig going on there. Those guys are really fun to hang out with. Brian, if you're free that night, definitely come on down. I'll send you a beer.
Are they still in the basement?
Oh yeah, the basement is alive and well, Brian. If you're bored on Sundays, they have naked yoga going on, so that'd be a fun time for
sure. All right, not going to touch that one. All right, thank you, Alex. And I love getting your tweets and your little images of life on the farm. Those are so cute. I don't know, Will and Rob, have you seen those?
I saw one or two of them. Yeah, I gotta get back on Twitter more often and see the wonders of the farm animals.
Alex, you just gotta smile a little bit more.
Oh, I think he cut out.
Oh, we lost him.
All right. Well, I'll take the reins here and say thanks everybody for watching, and have a great night. And we'll catch you in 2 weeks. It might be at this time. It might be later. It might be earlier. Depends on schedules. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I got my baseball cap on.
And Brian's got his cap on now, so we are a team now. All right, guys.
Do you have like Coinigy swag?
We have we printed some
We need
T-shirts.
to get more.
Yeah, I think
wouldn't that be
we're gonna
cool
start
if
doing
all four of
that.
us
Yeah.
had Coinigy hats on? Wouldn't that be cool?
I would, man. I wear a baseball cap pretty much 24/7, so I would be rocking that Coinigy hat. And yes, it's coming.
All right.
So,
I'm using
tuned.
using the Coinigy video camera, right?
right, exactly.
So,
And it's the best quality video camera among us, by the way, I must say.
it's a
It
pretty
is.
good image, eh? I mean, not
Yeah,
bad.
it is.
My cute little apartment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
See my beautiful image of my wife and kids. I don't know whether you can see that or not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got the
All
whole
right.
setup back there.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, we're getting off topic. I'm gonna cut her off.
Okay.
Take
Thanks,
care, everybody.
everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. Have a good
Bye.
night.